Welcome to Adjacent Investigates with Jody Silvey Wynn and Shelly Silvey Grabe. We're asking the questions no one asked us to ask. Diving into debates no one can win. And somehow making it everyone else's problem. Let's investigate.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent Investigates, where we've been deep diving a really important topic. What have we been deep diving, Shelly?
We've been deep diving male relationships because of Andrew McCarthy's book.
Yes.
And we're calling it Road Tripping with Andrew McCarthy. And last week we did a deep dive into who needs friends and explored some of the themes that have resonated with us the most, especially the changing landscape of friendships with adult men.
Yeah.
I had no idea. We were a little taken back by the whole thing. So we started deep diving it, and we want to talk to men and see how they're doing, check in with them and see how they're maintaining their relationships. So what did we do, Jody?
So after we've been deep diving the book, which there were so many hot topics on that, mainly about how society, it's definitely shifting, but how it kind of creates men into a loner situation, and that their interests become very isolating. Yes, they can play golf or go to games together, but they're not like going to brunch and hanging out like women or sitting up. Some men do, but I'm just saying, like, as general, they've learned to keep their emotions to themselves. It's all about how's your family doing? How's your job doing? Those are the main things that are important. So we got to interview one of our good guy friends and married to one of our besties, Tammy, Brandon Wark. And it was such a pleasure talking to him. First off, total pro. Am I right?
He's such a pro, and he was in media for a long time. He was on the radio. His voice is amazing, and he's so insightful, and I love the conversation. I recently heard from some younger people that, this next generation really isn't connecting the same way we did, and they don't check on each other. They don't call and have long conversations with each other. They see each other when they see each other, and they make the best of it then, but they're not really checking in on each other. A young lady was in awe of her mom, calling to check on a friend.
Yeah.
Completely. What?
Yeah.
Y'all do that? Hey, I need to call somebody and tell them happy birthday. You need to do that. And so I think this is a very important conversation. I'm glad it's being brought up. What is friendship? What does that look like? And how to maintain it and how to support it. The biggest thing in the book that kind of shook me personally is that after empty nesting, I think I already spoke to this, but after empty nesting and, that being such a vital part of a man's life as well, everybody thinks about the mom. But the men, they have this big empty hole too. They were going to the softball games. They were going, they were, helping pay for the expenses of it. And now they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What do we do now? And I think that's a good conversation to have. So that's why we're doing this. And Brandon does a great job sharing, how to maintain relationships. Just a quick note on Andrew McCarthy before we shift it over to the interview. He is performing his one-man docudrama, Are You Now? or have you ever been in New York City, and continuing sharing stories that challenge us to think more deeply about lives and relationships. So I think that is fun that he's continuing the journey. And that's happening right now in New York City. If you're up there visiting, you might want to get in there and check it out. So
incredible. I learned so much about relationships from Brandon and the deep diving into Andrew McCarthy. So we hope that you enjoy this interview as well with Brandon Wark. So enjoy. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent Investigates, where we are investigating this time about men's friendships. So we have our good friend, Brandon, in the house. I like to call him Tammy's Brandon. That's how you're saved on my phone.
Really? Okay. Well, that's good.
And so we wanted to ask you some questions about well, Shelly, tell them why we started this investigation.
I don't know if you remember this name because you're a little young, but there was a famous actor named Andrew McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, and he has become an author, and he recently wrote a book called Who Needs Friends, and he really dove the what's happening in male relationships. And the book is fascinating and a great read. Highly recommend it. And, men's relationships, friendships are so different from women's relationships. And as everybody's starting to empty nest and our lives are changing, we see with friendships that the husbands are like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? When are we hanging out? What's going on? It's my time. I've been waiting for us to be kid free. And now you're leaving? Now you're going on a girls trip? Now you're doing all these things. And I thought this was our time. And it's like, go hang out with your friends. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. You go hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
And so we're wondering what's going on with the men. And we know you've always had a great group of friends. And you've always done a great job of staying connected and engaged in their lives. It's not a once-a-year trip. It's constant engagement.
Right.
So can you speak to that? How do you feel about men's relationships?
Well, they're definitely different. There's no doubt about that. I think, a lot of times men's friendships are much more surface level than what women's friendships are. I think part of that is, part of it's our age group, how we were raised, right? Because we were, you got to think about being Gen Xers and what our life was like growing up, right? More of the latchkey kid, type of thing where you come home after school, you're there by yourself for several hours before your parents get home from work. Or even if you are hanging out with friends, at that age, it's, it was very little doing homework. It was playing video games or outside, shooting hoops or doing whatever, right? Something along those lines. But we tend, and we've always been, I think, as men, growing up, at least in my household and a lot of the people that I'm friends with, it was, you have to have this tough exterior. Like, that's what you need to be perceived as. You bury things, you don't let things get to you too much. And if you do, you don't share it. But then on the flip side of that is, you bury all that. And when something, it's almost like it's burying up until like a volcano until it explodes. And when it explodes usually in a different manner in terms of like more like anger or, because that's an emotion that men can show that's acceptable apparently in this society, or it has been throughout our lifetime. Right. But I think, when you really kind of dig down into a friendship, there's got to be more to it than just that. Of course, I love the the friendships where, for me as a huge sportsman, that's how I initially relate with people that I'm going to be friends with, right? Because that is always a topic I can talk about, and I'm sure for them they feel the same way. And so being able to, kick the friendship off on that, but knowing you can come back to that anytime you want, and it's very easy. It's easy to feel like you just spoke to him yesterday and you haven't talked to him in 6 months.
Right.
But to really get deeper into that relationship and actually talk about your personal life or your feelings or things that are happening, sometimes it's, can be very difficult. Men just don't really want to share those kind of things. Now, for me, I think one of the reasons I do have such solid friendships and friend groups is because I don't mind going that route with people. Now, I'm not going to do it all the time. In fact, I'm not going to do it very often. But when I do, it's going to be meaningful, right? And I always, what I like to do is to share, if I'm going to maybe bring up a topic, or if something comes up where I can share something a little deeper, I'll do that. And I don't mind, because I've always been an open book. I don't care. I don't mind sharing things with people. And a lot of times when you do that, it's like, okay, here's your green light. It's okay. You can talk to me about these things and know that it's going to stay right here between us.
Yes.
So I don't know if that answered your question, kind of long-winded, but
no, it speaks so much to the book. Exactly what he was saying. In a society where showing vulnerability or emotions is kind of frowned upon for men, although I feel like that's shifting quite a bit in this younger generation. So Shelly came up with some questions that we wanted to. That was a great way to put it. I do feel like, Brandon, of all of John and our friends, you are that person that you can sit down and have real talks with.
Mm-hmm.
You're open for it. You're a really good listener.
It's funny because I was just going to say that, and part of that, I think I've always been a good listener, but much more so in the last 10 years or so with the job that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be successful if I'm not a good listener, and so it's carried over from the workplace to the personal life.
That's true.
I agreed. And it's better to listen than to spew. And so it definitely, especially in your work situation, it's like getting people to share their stories so you can find them the right placements.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Well, and tell people what you do for a living. I understand.
So I work in staffing for finance and accounting professionals. And, that's one of the things that we're taught from day one is to ask open-ended questions and listen.
Right.
Right. And I feel like, even before I got into this, even in personal life, I always want to listen and get the lay of the land. Like if I'm walking into a group of, whether it's a group of strangers or a group of people I know, I want to get a feel for the room. And you don't get a feel for the room when you come in and you're automatically the center of attention. Right? You come in guns a-blazing. No, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, hi, how are you? Give my hugs. And then I'm going to sit and listen for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be. And now I have a feel for what's going on around me, what everyone is, what their mood is like, what they feel like talking about. And then, okay, we can expand from there.
Yes. I love that.
I know you lost your father pretty young, but do you remember him having close male friendships?
So, yes and no. He did. It was funny. I think he did within our family. So my mom has 3 sisters and a brother, so a family of 5.
Yeah.
He was very close with several of my uncles. And so, I saw the great friendships there. Now, outside of that, it was pretty rare that I ever saw him on the phone. He had one friend from high school that he would talk to on the phone on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say regular basis, I mean once every month or 2. But outside of that, wasn't never really went out with friends, never did anything like that. Family came first, and well, in work, he was a workaholic. I mean, he put in long hours, and so now did he get along with everyone? Heck yes, he did. Like he could crack people up. He was one of the best joke tellers I've ever met. So similar to me, like he could. Well, I'm not a good joke teller, but he could go into a room of people and have conversations with anyone. So
that's how you are, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Like, and I have no problem. I mean, it doesn't matter. I can make friends with just about anyone. But yeah, as far as like deep friendships, like really close friendships, no, he was, I mean, outside of, his brother-in-laws or his brothers, no, not really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what generationally we're seeing is that back then they worked 80-hour weeks. They hung out with their family on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
They put to church on weekends. And then they just wanted to relax and watch a football game for one thing. And then didn't want anybody to talk to them. They just want to be left alone. And so they can recoup, for Monday. And this our generation, we had a little more freedom and we started building those relationships. And this next generation, that's all they do.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little too much for me, but yeah.
Virtual or otherwise, they're doing it full blast. So you're welcome, young generation. We put another word so that you can have the time to play video games 70 hours in a week.
I think they do have an isolation issue as well, so they have to be careful with that, with all the technology.
Yeah, well, and I think there's a big difference between what they call a friend and what we call a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm like, is someone really your friend if you've never met them in person?
Right.
Not in my book, but in theirs, it's different. We didn't have that when we were growing up, right? If you wanted to talk to a friend or hang out with them in some form or fashion, you didn't just go online. You had to actually get them on the phone, say, hey, I'm going to meet you somewhere at noon, and you had better be there at noon. Otherwise, you miss out.
Agreed.
So true. So true.
And having those standing scheduled events kept people connected, and you knew here are the 4 spots in Austin. If nobody's there, then you shift and you shift and you shift because you couldn't call everybody.
Right. Yeah.
We send out a message.
Yeah.
No. We had something similar to that. It's like, well, I know we said we were going to meet here, not here. Where else could they possibly be?
Right.
You would drive to that location. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. It was all this dead end streets in Austin. We know exactly where to go.
So true.
Well, how do you define a true friend? What you mentioned it, your AI, your virtual friend is not,
maybe not a true friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a true friend is someone that will be there for you, and no matter whatever the situation may be, right? And I think about, I have a lot of friends, and for different situational things that come up, I'm probably going to go to different people, different friends, depending on that situation. But knowing, okay, hey, I know in this situation, if I was to call John or I was to call Adrian, I know that that they would most likely answer that phone call, and if they didn't, they'd get back to me within minutes, just like I would for them.
Of
right?
course.
And so, I think that's, and not only that, but, it's got to be obviously someone you enjoy their company. And, it's not just about counting on them if you need their help. It's about, being there for them as well, but just being able to hang out and be yourself and enjoy each other. And sometimes, and it looks different every time, right? Sometimes it is just sitting in front of a TV and watching a football game and maybe not even conversing that much about it. Other times it is, hey, we're going to get into some deep conversation, or we may, hey, let's grill together. What are we going to make today? What kind of, that's one thing I love about when I do guy trips with John and Adrian and everyone else. Like we start together a group chat, whether it's just a guys thing or it's a couples thing. Like we have a side chat about the menu for the entire time we're going to be there, right? And so, yeah, I think it's really about, being able to obviously get along with someone, depend on them in certain situations. That they'll be there to help you, and keeping up. I think that's really a hard thing. I was actually thinking about this a week or two ago. Like I just don't know that I've done a great job lately of, even with texting, keeping up with the people that I should. But at the same time, it's like, gosh, I only have so many hours in the day, and when you get a few hours of downtime, sometimes you really like as much as I can be an extrovert, I have that side of me that wants to be introverted.
Yeah, you want to recharge, without being connected for a little bit.
Right.
I think that's the hard part.
You're having to deal with people all day, every day.
Yeah, so that's another piece, is I'm talking or emailing or texting, nonstop all day long. And so there's a lot of times when after I get home and, and make dinner for the family, I'm like, I just want to just veg out.
Yeah. I understand that. And I think in our world right now, with the constant connectedness of technology, there isn't a lot of okay, I just have to put it away. So when you do, I think that's so valuable to take that time to do that.
It is. I wish I wouldn't have brought my phone in here with me. Since we've been sitting here, I've only gotten 20 notifications. I'm like, and that doesn't count the text messages or the emails or anything like that. It's just notifications, and it's, and now we've become it's like Pavlov's dog or whatever. It's like any time that your phone lights up or it dings, you got to turn and look, oh, where's my treat? So
right,
where's my treat? Well, you've answered a lot of these questions, so I'm jumping down. Have you ever gone through a season where you felt lonely? I know you've had you're taking more time to self-regulate and do your thing. Are you feeling lonely during that? Are you like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not feeling.
I don't think I've had something like that since my, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's, I don't ever feel lonely. And I think part of it's because I don't mind spending time by myself. I really don't. In fact, a lot of times I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, I also know, hey, if I'm getting bored with myself, I can reach out to this person or that person, that and whether it's go meet them somewhere or just have a conversation. I know I have several friends at my disposal that I could reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name 5 friends, because I know you have a lot of them? Mm-hmm. Can you name a couple of friends, and that if something happened at 3:00 in the morning and you needed help, support, or what have you, who are those people? Who are you calling?
Oh, well, it's 5 people. I can name it right off the bat.
I know.
Not all of them live here in Austin. 3 of them do, right? So it's good to to be able to have that. So so John, Adrian, and then my friend Alex, mm-hmm. and then my 2 best friends from high school, Mike and Todd. Now one of them lives in Iowa, one of them lives in Tennessee, but I know if I needed, if there was something that I know that they could help me with, whether it's just to listen to me or whatever it may be, I could call them at 3 a.m, and trust me, if they didn't answer, they would get back to me really quick.
I feel like that's a testament to you, because you really do cherish your relationships with people, and you have such a great way of building relationships. You make people feel so comfortable around you. So it's definitely a big testament to you. And I know if they called you, you would be the same for them. So.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, a very, I shouldn't leave him out, but we'll call it an honorable mention. But my buddy Rick, I know Rick would be there like that.
Absolutely. And he lives close.
And
he lives close. That's right.
He lives close. Do you feel like this time in your life that, as you become an empty nester and things slow down with work and shifting to retirement someday, that those friendships are going to have a bigger role in your life, or are you going to be traveling more, or are you going to?
Yeah, that's something that I've actually kind of don't know. I don't want worried's not the right word, but I've definitely thought about that because I've noticed, as we get older and we get stuck into our own lives, and we're all at different stages of our lives. It's not like there's not a single person in that group that I named that's at the same stage of life that I am.
No way.
Right. And so I think
well played. You got good coverage, Brianna. Good coverage.
Yeah, exactly. But I do worry about that, right? Because there are things that they have going on that they get caught up in, and so for me, it's let's cherish those times that we are able to get together and really live it up and enjoy it, so that you look forward to the next time when that happens.
Yeah.
Because the older we get, I think the more it's going to be further or fewer and farther between, in terms of actually connecting and being face to face.
Right. Yeah.
Man.
Unless we buy a compound.
That's right.
Please. That is the goal. And what recommendations would you have for men? Because you do have such great friendships.
Yes.
Not a lot of men can speak to that. What is something you would recommend to men that have put all of their eggs in the family basket and the work basket, and now the wife is busy, the partner is busy because she had 17 baskets, and the kids are gone. Now what can they do to rebuild friendships now?
Well, number one, be open, right? Whether it's making, if you're in a spot where you have to make new friends, all right, well, so what is it that you enjoy, right? Figure out whether it's going, again, I always come back to sports. If it's actually going out of your house to watch a game somewhere where there are going to be, fans of your team that are, probably like-minded people. Go there and just be open to talking. Just,
yes.
One of the reasons and Tammy always says this, we brought it up earlier, you've never met anyone that isn't your friend. Well, that's because I don't mind starting up a conversation. And it's a lot of people, I don't know why, that they feel like it's awkward or it's hard for them to start up a conversation. But if you have at least one thing in common, so in the instance I just gave, you're rooting for the same team, probably went to the same school or whatever, that's your opener. And then you just keep chatting, and you'll know pretty quickly if this is someone that you'd want to actually be friends with or not. But being open like that, and if it's reconnecting with older friends, whether whatever the reason is that you've become disconnected, get past that.
Right.
Just swallow your. I was just about curse. Swallow your pride and make a phone call, shoot a text message, whatever it may be, and just have that conversation and be willing to. And if you made mistakes, be willing to admit to them and apologize, because most of us are willing to give people second chances and third chances and fourth chances.
That's true.
I mean, I've done it so many times with people. I mean, and look, and I'm very quick if someone is, if I've reached out and I don't hear back from someone, 2-3 times, whatever, I'm really quick to drop them and say, okay, you know what? I'm done reaching out. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But if they get back to me like a month later or 2 months later or 6 months later,
it's forgotten.
Exactly. Yep.
We're back.
We're back.
Right. I mean, it's not that hard to, to catch up with people and have conversations. And a lot of times, I have other friends back in Iowa that I haven't seen them, probably since I moved here 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I only talk to them on the phone once or twice a year.
Right.
But I'll still we'll still catch up. We'll have that, and a lot of times those conversations end up being longer than an hour and a half, whatever the case may be. But now, hey, look, we're reconnecting, we're catching up. And,
yes.
It's still, that friendship is still there. It has to me, it better be something really bad if you're going to walk away from someone that you call a friend.
That's true. And life happens. People get busy. Things are out of our control sometimes. And just make that first move. Try to reconnect. I know Don, when he was switching jobs recently, he had kind of the privilege to reconnect with a lot of his old coworkers and things like that. Trying to build like, that connection, that work connection, but also reconnect as friends. So
yeah, well, and I think that's where a lot of our friends can be made. And I think when I think about some of the people that I've mentioned here today, like Alex, I met him through work. Those two friends that I just mentioned that I only talk to once or twice a year, they were the former coworkers. Like there's now I say that, like now I feel like I have so many friends. Like I don't make a conscious effort to like have really good friends that I work with right now, because I'm like I just don't have room in my bubble, right? But they're going to be really good acquaintances, and we might go grab a drink after work now and again, but anywho, I mean, it just every situation is going to be a little bit different, and you'll never know unless you're open to actually talking to someone and having a conversation and getting to know someone. Yeah. And also being open about yourself. Like that's such a big thing with men who they just don't want to share anything about themselves. And I've never understood that. I'm like, I don't know, just again, but for me, I've always been an open book. So
yeah, you're a very open book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's lovely. And I hope hearing this from a male perspective is helpful to our listeners, because I know they hear us all the time. But even if you're a loved one, if you're a partner of your partner is a male and they're having trouble building relationships, share this podcast with them.
Yes.
I mean, reach out to Brandon. I know he would talk to you.
Absolutely.
Well, if you're looking for a job, call Brandon.
That's right. Well, and one other thing I want to throw in there too is be open to having friendships with all different kinds of people.
Yes.
Right. It's because it makes life a lot more interesting.
It does.
If all your friends are exactly the same, that's boring.
Boring.
Like, I have my friends, and that's why a lot of times, like you don't see me, I guess, mixing up my friend groups, right? Oh. Because they are so different, and it allows me to be kind of a different person with each group.
Right.
Right. I mean, the core personality is still there, but there's little differences, in how I speak to them, how I act, the things that I do with each group. So I don't know. I always find that's why I think I love meeting new people, because it's like, and you never know what little things you're going to have in common. So,
man, I needed to hear that pro tip, Brandon. I always try to bring everybody together.
And it drives people crazy.
It drives everybody nuts. And I'm like, I mean, y'all like me. Why can't y'all like each other?
So like I think about like the personalities, right? And if I was to try to mix my friends from back home to maybe my friend group that I have with y'all, to even the friend group that I have with Alex and those guys, it would not be a good mixture.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't, because they're just too different. And again, I for the most part, I act the same, but there are subtle differences with each group that I'm with.
Right.
Because we all have different we have different experiences with each other.
Right.
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 So,
hey, can you share? I know you go on a guys trip. How often? How often do you do a guys trip?
Oh, geez. I would say at least 4 or 5 times a year.
I love it.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times, and nothing too crazy, nothing. Look. As much as I love having friends, like taking a week-long trip with a group of buddies, not a good idea.
No.
It's just not. Especially at this stage of life, we're too many individual personalities that are going to want to do different things, and it's not going to work. Yeah. However, a 2 or 3 day trip, yeah, that'll work, right? So whether it's going to Las Vegas or going on a fishing trip or just out to out to a cabin where we're just hanging out with no TVs and we're just grilling the whole weekend, whatever it may be. And by the way, it's different. I do different things with different groups of people.
You do.
it's good. It's good to spend that time and and reconnect on a regular basis.
I love it. I love it. You are, yeah.
Bravo, Brandon. Bravo.
I know you're doing all the good work. Share this with friends because some of your friends are struggling. Yeah, they don't have friends, and so
or they just need the connection. They need
the connection, and they've lost their mojo, and they need to get it back. But the book is Who Needs Friends? Andrew McCarthy. That's what's prompting this conversation, and this adjacent investigate. We're gonna let Brandon go enjoy his beautiful bride.
Yeah,
and tell him to get packed up.
He's on partial summer mode.
That's right. That's right. This was our first morning of having to get ready for work at the same time. That's always fun when you have to share the bathroom.
I know. That's how we are on Sundays. I'm just like, ugh. We love you, Brandon.
We can't fit in the same bathroom. Ours is so small.
I know. Ours is small. Y'all have a big bathroom at least.
Yeah, well, we still run over each other. So.
Yeah. I love you.
Right.
So much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on anytime.
Please, you have such a great voice too.
Just let me know.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Texas.
Yeehaw.
Okay. Wow. What did you think of that interview, Shelly? That was so insightful.
Agreed. I think Brandon really speaks to friendships. You guys, we want to wrap up today's episode. We want to leave you with a challenge.
Oh, yes.
If you're...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I like it when you give us a challenge.
If you're a man listening to this conversation and you have thoughts about friendship, loneliness, connection, or what it means to maintain relationships through different seasons of life, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. This series is all about listening and learning, and we're looking for men who are willing to share their experiences and perspective. Reach out to us. We want to hear it.
Yes, we do. And for all of you listeners, if this episode resonates with you, please share it with a male friend in your life. Then do something even more important. Check in with him.
Check in with him.
Ask how he's doing. Ask him about his friendships and ask him who he calls when life gets a little hard. Ask him if he feels connected.
Sometimes the most meaningful conversations start with a simple question. I know Leticia Marquez is so good at this. Whenever we all sit down at a table, she has a question ready.
That's right. That's right. I remember they said our big goal is to bring connection. We want to get you adjacent to great and amazing people and the world you're living in. So this is just another investigation into how we can all be connected. So thank you for joining us on this journey through friendship, connection, and community. We'll see you next time on Adjacent Investigates Road Trippin' with Andrew McCarthy.
And until then, you guys take care of each other, check on each other, make sure everybody's doing okay. Stop holding it all in. Share your story. We want to hear it. If you're going through something, we want to be a part of it. There's somebody in your life that wants to be a part of it. If you don't have somebody, reach out to us. We want to get adjacent. We want to be there for you. Texas.
Yeehaw. All right, friends, it's time to pay the bills.
We have big plans.
We do.
We need to talk about Charleston.
Yes. Well, first, we need to beat Joe Rogan. And secondly, we want you to help us get to Charleston. And what are we going to do in Charleston? Fan Fest. And when is it?
It's in October.
Yes. So we need your help. That is our goals.
Yeah.
As Heather McDonald would say, get me behind the gates. We want to be your favorite podcast. And one way that you can do that is by supporting these incredible businesses. We are so grateful for these businesses. They are some of our amazing sponsors who we support on the Adjacent podcast this month of June. These are businesses and people we genuinely love, support, and believe in, and we think you will too. First up, the Girly Birds.
Love them. Look at these eyebrows.
And you got your ears pierced there. We are so excited to welcome back the Girly Birds to the Adjacent family this month because this is next level self-care.
It is.
The Girly Birds specialize in timeless,
looking beautiful.
low maintenance beauty that helps you wake up feeling confident and put together every single day. Their services include permanent makeup like nano brows, powder brows, eyeliner, and lip blushing, along with fine line tattoos, permanent jewelry, brow shaping, and professional ear piercing. What we love most is that the Girly Birds focus on enhancing your natural beauty, not changing who you are. Their space is welcoming, fun, elevated, and the kind of place that immediately makes you feel comfortable and taken care of. Tell them Adjacent sent you for $50 off services.
And guys, so great.
And where are they located?
They're on the way down to Pound Town.
Drippin' Springs. You gotta go. Next up is one of our favorites, Cornucopia Popcorn.
Love.
Y'all already know we take our snacks very seriously over here at Adjacent, and Cornucopia Popcorn has officially become one of our favorites. Whether we are recording episodes, road tripping across Texas, binge watching Bravo, or staying up way too late editing content, there is a very good chance we have a bag of Cornucopia nearby. Their popcorn is fresh, flavorful, ridiculously addictive, and comes in so many incredible varieties that choosing a favorite honestly feels impossible. Sweet, savory, spicy, classic. You can truly find something for everyone. It is the perfect summer snack, great gift idea, road trip companion, or a little treat just for yourself. Use Adjacent for 10% off your order and tell your friends and tell everyone that Adjacent Podcast sent you. This June, we also are thrilled to partner with Attract Aesthetics, one of our favorite Austin glow-up destinations. Andrea and Taylor have created such an incredible space where beauty, confidence, self-care, and community all come together in one amazing place. From injectables and facials to microneedling, PRF treatments, chemical peels, and customized skincare services, they truly focus on helping clients look refreshed, confident, and naturally beautiful. And honestly, Shelly, they are just generally good humans, which matters the most to us, of course. If you have been thinking about refreshing your skincare routine or finally booking the appointment you have been talking about for months, this is your sign. Go follow Attract Aesthetics, support local, and tell them Adjacent Podcast sent you. And finally, our very own Adrian Grabe with JB Goodwin, A-Team Realtors.
Love.
We do. He's my brother, your hubby. If buying, selling, investing, and relocating is on your mind this summer, Adrian should absolutely be the first call. Adrian brings knowledge, hustle, heart, and true Austin community connection to every client relationship. Real estate can feel overwhelming, but Adrian generally takes care of people and helps guide them through every step of the process.
Yep.
Whether it is your first home, your forever home, or your next investment property, Adrian Grabe and the JB Goodwin A-Team are ready to help. Want to become part of the Adjacent family? Contact Shelly and about becoming an Adjacent sponsor. We love partnering with local businesses, creators, and organizations and sharing their stories with our amazing community. And don't forget to join us on
Patreon.
We have something for everyone with 5 different membership levels. Free, $5, $10, $25, and $100 per month. At the $100 level, you become an official producer of the podcast.
Ah.
So we need you all to get on Patreon today. Don't hesitate and like and follow us on all of your podcasting areas. With that being said, let's get adjacent.
Woo.